play a little music to intro this thing. What's up, guys? Drummer boy Ray. What's going on? Woo!
What's up, guys?
About to go live on Talking to Life with these guys.
I know y'all cutting us out.
This is my new jam right now. This is Miguel and Julia Michaels. It's called Light Me Up. Listen to it. It's dope. Wait till the beat drop though.
One of them days, guys. I know everybody going through is fucking retrograde. 5 planets. We're gonna talk about that.
How come you guys aren't popping up on mine yet?
Hey.
Oh, there it is.
Get y'all asses in here. Hurry up, hurry up.
Let's go. We're waiting on you guys. Well, you guys are probably waiting on us.
We're late.
But we're here. We're here.
Someone say you're dope.
We missed you guys. We missed you guys. We're back though. You ready?
We have Messenger set up.
Yeah.
Someone said, what's for lunch?
Oh man, this coffee for lunch right now. We're trying to wake up. It's been a long couple of weeks. We're back though. You know we've been MIA for the last 2 weeks, but we're back and ready to go.
Talk shit, guys. Y'all have the right to talk shit to us right now, because we didn't inform y'all. Life happens. There's a lot of changes going on with me, business-wise, career-wise. Same thing with Kerry. Sometimes life happens in LA. And we wanted to shoot yesterday. Kerry had an audition. I had to go to work early, so it didn't work out. So today we're back. So it's going to be back and forth a little bit, but we're going to be better about informing y'all and letting y'all know.
And we're going to do a better job of if we do go away and get out for a couple of weeks or whatever, we'll start to stack the shows and maybe shoot a couple shows in advance and make sure we're able to kick out some stuff to you guys while we're away.
Yeah, so a couple of days we might, like I said, we might go live twice. Early, then later in the day. But right now, I mean, probably ain't gonna happen. Right now, probably gonna happen until like September. So I think Tyree hit me and was like, yo, is Tackling Life still around? I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's still around.
It's still here.
It ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going nowhere.
The fact that it was so long, I mean, like, you can't go that long without, if we do a 15, 20-minute show, we should get something in there so people know. So sorry about that again, guys. How's everybody's? It's 2 weeks, so I feel like we got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. So share with everybody what's
right now, I mean, I think right now it's a crazy time and a special time for myself. I mean, it's, you know, I just booked a couple of jobs right now, so work is going okay. It's going in the direction I wanted. Doing a TV show and also a movie, so you know that's good news. I just went in for a big audition yesterday that has me twisted right now.
I feel like there's like some hands clapping on your side.
I mean, maybe, hopefully. So I had a big audition yesterday, which I went in really prepared for. It's for the lead of a Netflix show, TV show. So I'm like, you know, put all my good juju and all my stuff towards it. Worked really hard over it this weekend, and you know, went into the audition yesterday, and I left the audition feeling kind of bad though, because I think I was so pumped for it and so prepared that when things changed in the room, I came out a little disjointed. So, you know, it was kind of weird.
You took it probably more serious than other auditions. It was something you actually wanted because it was right up your alley. Mm-hmm. So that's where the feeling bad. You're gonna question every little thing. Did you do this? Did you do that? And a lot of times, we know if you get it where you don't. There's so many things outside of what you're doing that could take place. So
yeah,
we're good, man. Congrats on the movie. Congrats on booking 2 things.
Yeah,
it's momentum. Everything seems to be going their way. So sometimes you're like, you might have 5 more big auditions that you might not get, but that 6th one is going to be the big one. It's just preparing you for what's to come. So then I always say you're going to look back and laugh and shit.
Yeah, it's funny. I know, and I know that, but it's in that moment when you're when you're here and you're reaching for your goals and it's like really attainable and it's really close. Yeah. And you just kind of scratching, clawing to get there and you don't get there. It can be a major setback. So I mean, for me, even me, I know that, and I still have problems with it. So if any of you guys have those issues where you're like reaching and you're trying to get close to something and you see it, you can actually see over the horizon that you're close. Just keep going.
I'm that little guy on the shoulder, like, stop being the partner. It's That's me. I'm that guy to remind everybody. So
Absolutely.
if y'all ever have any friends going through that, yo, just give them a reminder, man. Like it's part of the process. It's what's the saying? Fail fast. Sometimes it's go through some shit, fail a little bit more, learn from it, move on. Because once you get that big one, the previous 10 doesn't even matter.
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter at all. You're gonna be laughing at it. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How's everybody's 2 weeks been going? How's everybody? Today's Monday. What's that? Tuesday.
Man, today is Tuesday.
Hey guys,
Wait a minute.
retro.
Tuesday.
What's
Is
today?
it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Guys, retrograde.
Okay.
It started off good. I'll be honest. I don't know if everybody's over there going through some emotional stuff, business stuff, whatever's going on. Be feeling kind of heavy. It's 5 planets in retrograde right now. Each planet means a different thing. I'm feeling it's heavy. Honestly, me and Kerry before we set up, I'll tell y'all some behind the scenes stuff. We were really going back and forth about where the camera was going to be. Like, no, right here, no, right there. And Nikki comes in, she was like, yo, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all bossy. We were just like, retrograde.
Like,
and I don't really look, retrograde is a positive thing for me, but the past 4 days has been heavy. Like really, really, really been heavy, and a lot of meditating, a lot of breathing. So if y'all going through it, everybody just weather the storm, man. It's retrograde is a time where whatever's shown to you is something that's supposed to change, and that you're supposed to give attention to. So don't look at it as a bad thing. Face it all. So
Yeah, no, we're about to fight. It was like 2 instances where like I almost,
I didn't even know this.
almost. Oh, come on, don't you start this with me. Here we go. Come on.
It's
You
going
know?
good.
You still going? Okay, the phone rung. But no, it's like 2 minutes. It's like 2 instances where we're going back and forth about the phones, and he put the phone in my face, and I wanted to get up and slam him, but
look at his forearm shivers.
right. So that's what
No, seriously, we were saying like this. Nah, I like it like this. No, I like this. And I'm like, this nigga here. Like, but I'm laughing inside because I'm like, I know what it is. We know exactly what it is. I'm like, when you walked in, it was like,
She walked into the fire.
So guys, y'all are helping us work through this, man. Like it's gonna be one of them days. So guys, what's today? Open forum.
Open forum.
Open forum today. Any questions that y'all want? Y'all want to be answered with any topic, pretty much.
Any topic you want to bring up. Yeah.
Any questions about us? What's been going on the past 2 weeks?
Yep.
Shoot. Empty a clip. Shoot your shot.
Shoot it. Shoot the J.
Shoot the J.
Shoot it.
Yeah. So what y'all got for us? Any hot topics? Anything going on that we should talk about?
Anything hot right now? No, I don't think. Not that caught my attention. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's something out there, but
what LeBron's about to do in LA and Hollywood is going to be amazing.
what's gonna kill it? Yeah.
Documentary Shut Up and Dribble.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He has another one.
The school.
The school, I Promise School, which
Yeah.
is amazing. I think that alone, he's doing what we want from athletes and what we want from quote unquote celebrities.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
Right.
He's actually outside of basketball. He has just as much of an effect outside as on the court. And I'm not knocking. Everybody's different, but that's what we would want from people who have a platform.
Right.
To use that to help people, and then to see people criticize him and Donald Trump, and I don't want to talk about this guy, but how can you talk down on that? Right? You're still going to find people, oh, well, he's this, well, he's that. That alone, he's probably donated more money of his own money than probably any athlete ever that we know of.
Right.
We don't know what people do behind the scenes, but it's.
I think with that situation, man, I think you have the public that don't like him just because of the sports team he plays for, so that factor plays into it.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, you know how loyal fans are. Once they get to that point where it's, I just don't like this guy, you're gonna find anything to dislike him. But I think, like you said, the stuff that he's doing for us as black people, and even outside of the black people forum, it's universal. The stuff that he's doing to bring kids and people alike all to one cause for school education and getting kids out the streets and putting them in advantageous situations, man. It's been awesome, man. And then you never know how much money he's putting in out of his own pocket, but it really doesn't matter. The fact that he's putting some of it in and he's bringing people all together for a cause that's so strong, which I mean, like education for kids, man, and putting it into a platform where it works. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT to me right now, and that's
in that aspect, he might not be the best, but he's probably the greatest athlete to play basketball. From what he's doing, I'm including everything as far as not just on the court, because we go back and forth all day about who does this, who does that.
What about YG on the video game? How YG's song they cut out the Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Big Sean. Big Sean, yeah.
That was interesting to me. It's easy when you cut it out for people to make an assumption about. I think the excuse EA came back with was BS. But I try to look at the other side of it. If he's not on the game and rights to his name, should they block that out?
Right.
You know more about the block on the video game stuff than me, but I can see that side of somebody now. But who made that call? Because somebody in the video or the editing department can't make that call or cut something out of somebody else's intellectual property.
Right.
That's a song that you edited, that you cut out something that you didn't get permission for the higher ups or the artist himself. EA doesn't own the rights to that song. Well, maybe
I want to know who went in and found that piece was missing. That's what I want to know. I want to know how did somebody actually go into there and listen to the song and say that. You know what? Colin Kaepernick's missing. Like who did that?
Well, I guess if you listen to a song and you hear a bleep, because when I listened to it, it's evident like there's a gap there. Then it kept going. So what made me, what is that? I'm not that curious to go and mention it, but if somebody knows the song, all it takes is one super fan to notice that and then bring attention to it. I think it's interesting that they found that, and then EA's response, the fact they personally called them, that's cool, but I think the excuses they gave was BS because somebody had to make that call to cut it out, because I think they're all tied.
Did they add it back in?
They said they're going to add it back in. I haven't played Madden in over 2 years.
I haven't played Madden in years.
Yeah, so I really don't know.
Okay.
You know, but I'm not surprised by anything, honestly. It is
what it is.
This capitalism, this video game. I'm not a video game person, so
yeah. My boy Ryan Hawk said, "What am I drinking? I'm drinking. What is this? What's this? Kool-Aid? Is it a sunset mimosa?
That's that mango passion.
Mango
Welch's
passion
mango
mimosa.
passion.
Yeah. Facilitation at its finest. I see you, Brock.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. My response now is that I don't know, like people, we shouldn't be surprised anymore at these things, but people still going to go out.
Yeah.
And buy. Man, I think YG said that he was still going to go and buy the game, and I was like, that was. It's at some point we take a stand. Like we keep adding to it. It's like we complain about the things, but yet we keep adding to it. And at some point, like I like when people make stands and don't spend money with them, but it's regularly scheduled programming in a month or two, in a few weeks.
Mad's not going anywhere. I don't care about what the song says or what it represents. I mean, obviously they shouldn't have done that. Like the song is the song.
Yeah.
But the video game's going to be there, and people are going to play that game forever, so they're not going to lose money from it. You may have some backlash, which is you don't want, but it's still going to be around.
But the minute they do that, they bring themselves into that arena or that political spirit. Okay, now you're part of it now.
Right.
So what are you going to do to remedy this? And like, what are you going to do? Because I mean, they're licensed through the NFL, this, that, like. So that's an interesting thing. Now you're part of it. What are you going to do now? I think an apology it's okay, but we'll see moving forward. So
Jerome Tremble was talking about the Trayvon Martin movie. You heard about that?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it.
Is it out already?
I think it's a documentary. That's the one Jay-Z did.
It's
Is it a movie or is it like a 3-part series?
a part series.
Oh,
And it just dives into the whole story and what happened.
It's a documentary. I haven't watched it yet, but
I haven't seen it yet. Like,
I haven't seen it
there's
yet.
a lot of stuff coming out.
that's
right
our
now.
things to watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Honestly, I've been in book mode, so I've really been trying not to watch as much TV and not get as much outside input to change how I've been thinking writing wise. So I'm very careful. I'm reading certain books, but I'm not really watching a lot of TV because anytime I watch TV, it gives me a new idea and I want to go back and change something. So I'm trying to stop all the. I'm telling you guys, writing is a lonely process. Nikki, you would know, writing is lonely because I don't want your opinion. I don't want your opinion. The minute you say something, I'm going to attach it to this. I'm going to be like, oh, I got to go back and change this.
Yeah.
And you'll be in the first chapter for 2 weeks. Because one person said something to you that changed how you had to look at one thing. So, you know, it's for writing, and it's a lonely. I'm learning that's a very, very lonely thing. I'd sit there for 16 hours like this. And sometimes I might only write 2 pages. I'm thinking I'm writing notes, but actual typing, not much so.
I mean, Any topics anybody put out yet?
Anything I want to talk about, guys? Anything? No questions, no anything. Y'all want to cuss it out? Y'all want to talk shit to us?
Right.
I said sport and life needs to be separated.
Huh?
Sport and life needs to be separated.
Sports and life.
Sports and life.
Impossible.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
And I'm going to guess that what they're saying that somebody's personal life and sports shouldn't be the same thing. So I guess I'm going to. I don't know who said that. I'm going to totally make up something. Oh, Tyree. So I'm going to say LeBron as a person.
Yeah.
And LeBron as an athlete, are they two different people?
LeBron is a person, LeBron is
There's
an athlete.
LeBron, because it's pretty sure there's many different shit. There's LeBron,
Yeah.
the person,
Yeah.
the father, the athlete. I think a lot of times they group all of that into the same thing. I'm reading yours.
You are really LeBron?
I can't see.
Am I coming up on yours yet? My eyes.
Yeah. Did you just text something?
The thing about sports,
Yes.
the thing
It's
about sports
slow.
in life, though. I mean, think about how many things we learn from sport, right? I mean, some of the things we can't take from sports, we kick to the side and we get rid of. But there's so many things that we took from the sport that made us who we are now. So it's always going to be attached to it. You're never going to be able to just completely cut off ties from sports.
That's
in real
a
life.
good segue. So we could talk about, because we all take from different parts of our lives, different phases, right? What things have you taken from football, right? That can be applied to anything, not just football. Because I always say, like, football is the ultimate sport, the ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
Because in order for you to do your job, you need 10 other people to do their job. Right. So I'm depending on the person next to me to do their job. So he got to make his fit, so I can get in this fit, so I can get in that fit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's the only game you can play once a week.
Right.
It is the only game. It's the only game where you can hit somebody. Well, actually, no. You can hit somebody and actually get away with it. Right. So it's the ultimate. There's so many you get knocked down, you lose, you watch film, you learn from it, come back next week fighting again. You can't hold on to stuff. You're thinking about why you got beat for a touchdown last week.
Right.
You shouldn't be in this game. You have to let things go. That's easily applied to people who are holding on to relationships, people who are holding on to people or attachment to things. They're fleeting. Get the lesson, move on from it,
Right.
and be better. And it's going to come back around. As in football, you might see that same exact play. Oh, Kerry got beat on that 2 times in a row. Guess what? You know
It's coming again.
It's coming again.
Sure.
Because you got beat on it twice.
Right.
That's life. That's how the universe works. That's how the universe works as well. They're going to keep giving you the lesson until you learn it.
Right.
When you don't learn, it's going to get worse. And worse in football is you're benched,
You're unemployed.
or you're unemployed.
Yeah.
Cut.
Right.
On to the next one.
Real life.
Right. So then that affects your money. It affects a whole host of things. So just life in general is so many parallels of life.
Right.
Friends, brotherhood, being there for people, losing people, moving from one team to the next.
Let's say, a teammate getting traded, a teammate getting cut, you getting cut, going to a new team, going to a new situation. It's just like in life, man. You have to, you got to be able to adjust. So you got to be able to adjust to things that come on the fly and may not be ideal for you. So it's just like in life.
Yeah. Come on, fly. Because football is one arena. That's one arena we've done for 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in acting and producing. What things do you take from football? Do you find yourself, because we're going to always go back to
Well,
that.
you know, one of the biggest things for me is the preparation part of it. Coming from an athlete standpoint, I mean, you're going to be athletic, you're going to have the gifts to play football, right? But the ones that separate themselves are the ones that put in the work, put in the time, actually prepare to be the best that they can. So game film, study, work on your body, nutrition, like all these factors play a big part in you as an athlete, right?
These are all things y'all could do, not just being an athlete, but just in life in general.
And
prepare the same. Prepare as if you're a LeBron James
Right.
or Kerry Rose or
Right.
anybody.
And then when you go, and then me going to this world, into the acting world and producing world, it's the same thing. I mean, I'm going to study, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to take my speech classes, I'm going to go see my coach, I'm going to eat well because I want to look good on camera. So all those things play the same part. And then it's funny, like one of my first couple of auditions I went to out here in LA, I mean, I wasn't the best yet, I wasn't even good yet, but the fact that I walked in the room, I knew my lines, I knew what I wanted to do, I was prepared. The casting director was like, you're not ready yet, but you're prepared. And she was like, if I could have these other actors do the same thing you're doing and come in prepared, like, they would be so much better. So just having that foundation and knowing what it takes to be successful, then, I mean, I use that and that's what I did.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. We know how to prepare, and when we lock in, we lock in. For some reason, the messages aren't coming through, so let's see what.
Tyree said, Kerry, if you got a role where it was required for you to shave your head and beard off, how would you feel about that?
He'd take it.
Hey, I'd be a bald-headed, beardless mofo. I'd be in that thing, hey, ready to go, ready to work. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a part of acting that I like, man. You get to be different people, just express yourself artistically in ways that you normally wouldn't do or think about. So, for me, yeah, I'll be in that thing looking like Rock. Whoa.
Yo, somebody asked, where's the co-star that was walking through last time? Remember the lady that was walking through?
Hey.
And we got a funny picture that we're gonna post.
Man, you gotta see my face when she walked by. I was pissed.
Oh man.
I mean, she was so rude.
Yeah, Papa John's.
Oh, okay. We can talk about
Papa John's.
That's not.
That's from Jerome. We can talk about Papa John's.
I'll go first.
Since Papa John's is the name of your college stadium.
Right. No. So
you having dinner with Papa John's.
Right. I do. I actually know him. So like that, the Papa John's fiasco, like directly affected us in my school and our community. So I mean, he's like obviously he's our big brand ambassador for the school. He was the name of our stadium. The stadium was called Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. So we, the school came together and decided that we would get rid of him and get rid of that name. So it's no longer Papa John's Stadium anymore. It's just Cardinal Stadium, which is the right thing to do. But yeah, I mean, it's funny when we met him, and I've met him a couple of times, but he always seemed a little weird. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if it was like racially charged or whatever. But I mean, he was always kind of weird and always kind of just felt like he had the vibe that he was better than us or better than everybody else.
Yeah.
So I got that vibe. I mean, it was nobody that I was really worried about being around or being in close contact with anyway, except when we had to do the meet and greets. But yeah, he's weird, man. I think a lot of people, I think it kind of directly goes back to the regime now. The regime that we're under right now with the presidency, I think a lot of closeted racist people are coming out and they're being in the forefront and the light because they're not scared. I mean, if you're executive in chief, your president's running around doing this stuff, like you feel empowered to do the same thing. So I think as those closeted racists come out and do that, I think that's actually a positive for us. We get to identify them and see who they are. And like this guy, Papa John, get rid of his ass. He's not worth being where he is and saying stuff like that, man, behind closed doors. So I applaud Papa John's and everybody removing him from the list.
Yeah, I listen to parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times I don't really like listening to that stuff because you never really know. Once it's on the internet, you don't know how it's cut. You don't know because I don't know the context. So a lot of times they don't show what the other side is saying.
Of course.
So they only show this one angle. And I'm like, I don't know enough.
Yeah.
To really make an informed decision. I think we're so quick to just react to everything that, oh, he's racist. I'm not saying that he's not.
Yeah.
But we're so quick to, without any facts, without any information, I think on every issue,
right.
You know, some things are straight to your face, but if I don't see the other side, I'm like, oh, why are they hiding that from me?
Yeah.
Why aren't they showing us the context and why is he or she responding in a certain type of way? What made them say that? It might be more understandable. Mm-hmm. I'm not justifying what either person says, but we know that happens a lot. Media, their job, they're not in the job of telling the truth. They just want to sell. They want to get clicks and get people to view their stuff. So, but Louisville moved quickly. They moved quickly.
Yeah.
You know. So I applaud them on that. It's always interesting. When something comes out, I'm not surprised, but I'm more interested in how people respond. You know, and it's going to, and as when we talked about the whole feminism, the last conversation, and I think one of the things I touched on was that this is all coming back to culture and beliefs.
Right.
When you know how somebody, the environment, have an idea of the environment in which they were raised and their parents and upbringing, these things are going to come out. All of us, whether black, white, all of us is going to come out in some way. A lot of times we don't know how it's going to come out until something in front of us, you know, is that we've never experienced comes out. I'll tell you, there was somebody that I wouldn't say dated, but I visited somebody in Canada, and we had a really interesting conversation about it. And she said that I understand what it's like to be black.
She says she understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And no, not but it was, and she was like, I know what it feels like, and I was like, huh? How? You don't have, you as a parent.
She had sex with a couple black guys or something that she kind of related to in that way. Like she felt,
Maybe.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. But no, but she was dating a guy, and her whole story was that, like, well, they were racist towards her. They were telling her how to eat. You don't like this, she don't like that. And I was like, well, what they were saying was wrong. I said it was prejudice. It was wrong. I said, but we all have that to a certain extent. She's like, yeah, it was wrong. It was messed up. And I was like, what was his family's background? They were from Jamaica. So they were old school Jamaicans. And I was like, do you understand where that comes from? Like, they were around when their island was colonized and people came and raped and pillaged. And I said, so their differences or their mindset towards white people or colonizers what we like this are going to be very different. So they're going to look at you in a very different way. And I was like, is it ignorant? Absolutely. I said, but until you can go down the street and worry about coming home or worry about a cop, you don't have, when you get pulled up, you don't have to worry about if you're going to make it home or not. Right. I don't have that thought either because I'm not afraid of cops, but the majority of people do. When they see cops or they're around, they get uncomfortable. When they're around white people, they get uncomfortable. That's a very interesting thing, and sometimes we don't even know why. So that was the first time I was ever confronted with that conversation. I was like, I froze, and I was like,
it's funny you talk about the cop thing. A lot of people don't know the story about me because I don't talk about it. But when I first came back out here, and I'm Kerry, the celebrity, the football player. So I feel like that stuff really doesn't apply to me until it does, right? Like I think that's a problem with a lot of situations in the community, and when we see certain things happen where, like, people who believe they're beyond approach when it comes to that stuff, until it directly affects them, they're kind of like, I don't know what that means.
Oh, absolutely.
And so this happened to me, and I don't think I told you this though, but I think when I first came out here after my last year in Arizona, 2012, 13, whatever, I came out here and I was living on Nichols Canyon, and I rented a place in Nichols Canyon. And so we went out, me and a couple of homeboys, one of my homeboys from back home and a couple of guys here, we went out and came back to the house. I was renting like really late. You know, we go in the house, we sitting down, just hanging out, just had a nice night at the club and came in and whatever. And we're sitting in the house, and the top of the house is like glass, so I can see outside of it. And I saw like a helicopter, like flying around the house. It was like really close. I'm like, I looked up a couple times. I'm like, man, it's kind of close. The lights coming in, and I'm like, it looked like the lights are coming in directly into the house. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so I kind of sit around, I kind of sit up, and I look outside because one of my boy was outside smoking. I look outside and I see like these lights. The police are coming to the house. They think we broke in this house or squatting or something. So I go outside. I see them getting him, like taking them out. I'm like, what are they doing? So I go out. They got them on the ground, on the concrete. I'm walking around the corner like, what are y'all doing? They like, I see cops coming around the corner with their guns drawn. I mean, like, out. I'm like, I live here. I'm renting this place. This is my place. They're like, get on the ground. So I get down on the ground. My boy's talking. He's from the hood. He's talking. Y'all can't do this. Blah 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 blah. Talking. I mean, just going in. I'm like, dude, shut up. Let me handle this. I'm like, let me handle it. We get down the ground. They got the guns. So I'm like, listen, man. I'm getting down, but we're gonna go in the house. Take me in the house. Me. So I can show you the papers. I live here. They had their guns drawn on us. They happened to take me in, because I was kind of calm and I kind of handled the situation well, but took us in the house. We outside barefooted on the ground, tied up. I'm not tied up there because I'm just coming out, but they got them down. Like we sitting in the house without shoes on, like we robbed the house. I'm like, dude, does that make any sense? But just that quickly, like
there are a lot of doors that are open to us. Just based on you graduated from Louisville, you being an athlete, you being successful, well spoken. There's a lot of things that you don't have to face that other black people will. And I understand that. There's a lot of opportunity. I'm here because I was a Notre Dame. Right. I absolutely understand what my privilege is. I play sports. Right. I'm articulate. Yeah. I'm this. I'm that. I absolutely know that there's a level of privilege that I have. There's a level of entitlement that I have. I know when I can walk, I can get this and I can get that if I really want to. We take advantage of that and we talk about other people's privilege, and I'm like, well, that's a whole different thing. But I'm like, let's understand and own our privilege as well, because we have it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like we do, because at the end, after my whole scenario, the fiasco, whatever you want to call it, once they found out, once they saw my name and found out who I was, they're like, oh shit, Kerry, we didn't know this is your spot. Like, we're sorry, it won't happen again. That whole type thing. I'm like, happen again? don't have to happen again. If it happened right there and that shit was over, and it was one missed finger on the trigger and you shot us, then what? Then what you do? But yeah, after the fact, like, oh yeah, Kerry, we're so sorry. We didn't know. We just got a complaint from the neighbors because.
Yeah, that's train. It's
crazy.
Bad train, like, because you expect cops supposedly to be held to the highest level of law, like, but a lot of them poorly trained, underpaid, so a lot of them don't care. And a lot of them are the kids that got bullied in school. Now they want to become cops. Now they feel tough. You know, so I've had a couple of experiences with that. I'm not honestly scared of cops, really. When I see them, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Because I think that's the thing here. They want us to be scared. I'm aware of how things work. I'm aware of how cops work. Like, cop, what I do, I know my rights. I know this. I know that. I'm not scared. A lot of people are. I don't change my voice. Yeah. I used to. I don't change my voice anymore, and that's something that I noticed that I did as I got older. I'm like, I'm not scared anymore. What am I scared for? You want me to be scared? You want me to sit in the house all day and be scared to go to the park or go to the mall? Like, no, I'm not scared. Right. Whatever's meant for me is going to happen to me is going to happen. I trust that I'm protected. So Jerome asked a question where is the line drawn for free speech?
Where's the line drawn for free speech? For free speech.
Well, there's a line drawn, it ain't free, because you're telling people how they should talk or what's okay and what's not. I don't think you draw a line. I think people are sensitive. I think some people aren't able to see the other side of things, the angle where people come from, right. Which I guess is not their place to, but I think people are overly sensitive when it comes to certain things. If somebody says, oh, I hate black people, A, B, C, D, okay, cool, that's your truth. Speak that. Right. How you respond to that is on you. Has nothing to do with the other person. Right. You can choose not to be around it, or you can choose to, that's how you respond is on you, it's not really on them. I don't think you draw a line. I think there's a lot of sensitive people, and a lot of people can't take it. There's a lot of people who can dish it out, but there's a lot of people that really can't take it.
Yeah, I think the people that can't take it are the ones that, first and foremost, they don't agree with what's being said. So if it doesn't fit in your box or fit what you believe, I think those are the people that kind of want to reject, I guess, free speech because they don't agree with it, they don't understand it. And I think it comes from that a lot, though, just the understanding of, okay, this person feels this way, right? Why do they feel this way? Like, instead of going, they feel this way, so they're wrong. Like, actually understand why they feel that way. Even though sometimes that's tough, especially in racially charged situations, because the first thing you want to do is kind of protect yourself and protect what you believe in that instance right away. But I think if we, as a people, start understanding and start wanting to get to the bottom of what's really going on and what the real issue is, and like you said, sometimes, I mean, you say a lot of, we talk a lot about, like, systematically, that's how things break down, because we're taught and we've been raised kind of to have these totally different views on what that means. I mean, if you're white, you have a lot of views that you've been instilled in from generations, and so is black people. Yeah. Right. So you have to come to a point where, okay, this is how they believe, this is how we believe, and let's kind of find this common ground and actually try to understand each other, understand what the problem is. I think that's where you come in with free speech. I think that would actually help free speech if we understood what was going on.
I think everybody just put everything on the table.
No.
Where does everybody stand? I think that's one of the if not the only good thing that what Trump has done. We see the snakes in the grass, and we see where people really stand. And isn't that what we want? Right. We want to see where everybody stands. Yeah. My people, everybody. Where do you stand? Put it all out on the table. Yeah. How do we work from here? A lot of people don't have the ability to take a step back and see the other side. That's tough for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't understand themselves. Right. A lot of people can't tell you about themselves to understand why they believe what they believe, or what they believe.
Even relationship based.
Yeah, so that's all. It's all go back to culture and beliefs and what you were raised and what was instilled to you. Right. Deprogramming yourself from these thoughts and beliefs. That's why I said on the last show, what you believe and why you believe it are two totally different things. What do you believe? And when you understand what you believe, why do you believe that? And really honestly answer that question to yourself. Like, a lot of people can't. Yeah. For me, up until probably the past year or two, like, what do I believe? Yeah. What do I actually believe? Right. Do I actually believe that free speech is good? Do I actually believe that racism is bad? This is just a question that I ask myself. Because there's a video, we're not going to have this conversation, maybe another show, and I was like, is racism necessary? Right, there was a video, and I'll post a link in our page. This Lupe Fiasco was talking about it. Because capitalism is at the root of a lot of things too. We have to have poor people in this country, but we all want to benefit from it. I want to save my money. I want to stash my money here. I don't want to pay all these taxes, but yet we at the same time we understand that capitalism is a problem where it oppresses and enslaves people.
Right.
But we all want to benefit at the same time. So that's the duality. Or that's the other side of it. Like, okay, cool. You don't like this, but you do like it because if you don't have this, you won't have your little comforts or things that you really really like.
Right. What else we got going on here?
I think it brings physical harm. I wish I could read it. Jerome said, I think it brings physical. So Jerome, you think, I can't see the whole speech.
We got a couple, like somebody, we just might said, I'd rather hear the hate because that let me know who I'm dealing with. Yeah, I mean, that's
Absolutely.
That's
Put it out there.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
No, I'm not.
That's something like people, everything's not racially motivated. Because if I walk into every situation and think that what they're saying to me is racially motivated, then I'm already turning that conversation or slanting it in a certain type of way. I'm putting myself in a position to respond a certain type of way.
Right.
So I don't go into because not every person, they might have things. I'm not blind to think that they might not have something internally, but I'm not thinking every conversation that is motivated from that. You know, and I don't know. Right. Now, if he says something, I'll pay attention to every little word that people say. If he says something, I'm going to be like, huh. And it might not be the time to really answer that, but I think I don't feel like everything's racially motivated. Like, some of it, yeah. I think a lot of people come from that place where somebody said, well, I don't like this. Well, you're racist. I'm like, no, maybe he just doesn't like it.
Well, I think that depends on the history of that person. If that person's...
Which we don't know.
Right. If that person's been known to come with racially charged statements of me, and that's their MO, then if they say anything, that's where it's coming from, probably. But if not, and like I said, if we don't know, then that's an issue too. We just gotta, like I said, it's understanding though. It's putting yourself in a position to actually listen to somebody and see where they're coming from and actually understand it. Because we all have different beliefs, but until you actually know that person or walk in their footsteps, kind of like in the beginning where you said the girl was talking about she knew about black situations or being black. She doesn't. Until she walks in that, or actually sit down and understand it and actually break it down to know where it came from, then you really don't know. So I think that's what it means.
Yeah, she'll never be able to walk in those shoes. So and it's no knock to anybody. It's just a level. I can talk to you about certain things, but you'll never fully understand. Oh, I want to understand, but you'll never fully understand.
Kind of like Marina. What Marina said when she came on, Marina Sirtis, she said she don't think any person that's not of color or black should speak on black issues. I don't know. I was about to say I don't know if you can speak on it, but until you actually, if they don't understand it, they should not be in the forefront of any movement. They can be a part of it.
That's a whole other thing.
So
when you look at different industries, when you look at all the execs of urban culture and music, how are you a white person? Right? A black museum, I can't think of the name. I don't want to butcher this. The museum. Black Liberal Arts Museum, I don't want to butcher this, but the people who are head of that, run that, are white people.
Yeah.
How? You need people who actually understand the culture or how to present it and market it in the right way. And you know what, like, I'm not even mad at that because this has been happening for years. I don't want to say outraged. I'm more mad at that we allow it.
Well, they have the money, so they...
Yeah, but we, as we know, black people, we can affect money. Like, there's nothing, I've said it before, there's nothing in this country that we're not a part of. Right. That we haven't built, that we haven't helped them add billions to whatever their bank accounts. There's nothing. So we can affect, if a percentage of black people don't spend money here, or they're gonna feel it, because that's what they care about, money. They don't want to lose any amount of money.
Right.
We can call change. You can go on Twitter. I was talking to a guy when I was on the Universal tour. So he was talking about ad placement, and one of the James Bond movies, you know James Bond's drink was a martini, dry, something like that. Shaken, not stirred. That was a drink. So I think the new 007, with the new guy, they had a Heineken. I don't think anybody realized he had a Heineken. He got to the bar, he got a Heineken. People caused such an outrage on Twitter that they'll never do that again. Just one drink. People didn't even notice it. Because I think when Martini, I think, who was it? I think they're 60% of their sales went up. But the whole Heineken thing, they're like never again because people complained about it. We have the ability to affect change. And people look.
So what about the one on the Donald Trump? They actually took consideration that it's causing because it's being destroyed daily, that they're going to remove it. We're talking about removing it.
Removing
The star on the Hall.
Good about that. Yeah, still about
But
that.
he got it when the argument is he got it before he was a president, before everything, and it's okay to go back and start removing these stars after like Cosby or anything when people have put in this much work and they got the star, even though somebody else also said that they also pay for these stars.
They do.
Like,
So I said people don't
They do.
understand
They do.
that process
Yeah.
of you actually paid for your star to be
You have to pay for
Let me
that,
tell you something.
that property.
It doesn't really matter to me that it happened before he was president. If people can go back in years and find a tweet that somebody says and it can affect you now,
Or take somebody to Heisman after they.
absolutely,
Right.
you can go back and take his star too. Let's keep it. Let's keep it all. Let's keep it fair. Level playing field, even though we know it's not. Let's keep it level playing. No, move it. Absolutely. This guy's answering something that 15 years ago, and you got to speak to it.
Right.
If that's fair game, this is fair game too. Give it up. I'm all for it.
I haven't really thought about that, but yeah, I mean, like I just said, I mean, they go back and they took Reggie Bush's Heisman away after he took some improper funds from college. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, man. That didn't control or contribute in his winning of the Heisman. He's a great player. He did that on his own. So if they can do that, I guess, in theory, yeah, why not? Why not take it?
Move it on.
He'll be okay.
Yeah,
I think he'll live.
Yeah,
He'll be all right.
he probably gonna ask for his $80,000 back.
He'll talk shit. But
I think that's how much it costs, like $80,000 to
He'll
the whole process.
He'll go to Twitter and say something about it.
Yeah, but nobody cares. Like, get out of here, man.
Go on
Nobody
Twitter.
cares,
Why?
man.
Somebody please take his phone.
Yo,
Take his phone, man.
Right. That's not even Twitter.
Why is he on Twitter?
So like, why is he even talking to like?
Man, talk about collusion. Talk about collusion with the Russians. Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about LeBron James and his I Promise School and him not being smarter than Don Lemon. Like, that don't make any sense.
All we can just have people stop paying attention to it. He's a troll. Everybody knows he's the biggest troll there is. Probably outside of 50 Cent.
He ain't got 50. He ain't got 50.
50's a troll. No,
He ain't got 50.
50's is funny though. His
funny.
But it gets to a point where I'm just like, come on. At some point,
I mean, I think I'll fight him. And I ain't even like, I don't care about
he Golden Gloves. He Golden Gloves. You sure you gonna fight him? Oh no, it's a joke.
Just playing around, man.
Hypothetically speaking.
No. Hypothetically,
And
realistically,
in case 50 roll up. G-Unit.
Alright.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. We just speaking truth, man. Like some of the stuff, I don't agree with everything. So, what else we got? Jerome writing books, man. What else we got?
He said, "I'm okay with free speech, but if your free speech is used to keep people or make people oppressed, then it can't support that."
All right, so here's my thing.
I can say it again.
Go ahead.
Say it again, Nick.
If your free speech keeps people oppressed, then it can't support that. You're in line.
This is. Hold on, let me think about this. There's a book. Gracious, as a man thinketh.
You are frozen.
Where they talk about the oppressor and the slave, and how they both play a role in that cycle.
Yeah.
Right. In order for the oppressor to oppress you, you have to accept it.
Okay, Kanye.
I'm not. See, don't do that because I'm not. See, don't do that. That's
Say what I said, so it's live.
No. So each plays a role in that. Right, and when we go back to slavery, we look at there was way more slaves than slave owners. We really wanted to fuck some shit up.
Right.
We could have, but it was a mentality thing. So my first initial thought was, you can't make somebody oppressed. You have to accept that you are. But there is a systemic thing that happens, and it's been ingrained in us for years. So that was my first initial thought. You can't make somebody oppressed.
Okay.
I can't make you unhappy. I can say things to try to, unless you accept and believe in what I'm saying, but I can't make you that. If you're the happiest, living your best life like everybody, I can't undo that.
The slavery thing is a tough one to talk about because I mean, I don't think it was a mindset. At first, I think we were tricked and lured over on boats, which was, we were captives. We were captives, right? So, I mean, from the original standpoint of that, it wasn't a choice. They got brought over.
But it was definitely benefit. They made a lot of money. Even Africans, we were selling slaves. It was very.
Well, no, I know.
very
But once you get into that standpoint of saying you're allowing something, that's a very, very, very touchy subject, and it's not crystal clear on how that whole situation manifested itself throughout history. So
well, I'm talking more so now, how people look and look at things now.
Well, but keep it there then, because going to that.
Oh no, I was just using that. But now I'm saying I don't know. Like if we know that Donald Trump is who he is, why does he can't say anything to oppress me? He can't say anything to make me feel a certain type of way. So we can only speak now because none of us were back in our slavery days. So he's like, when you can make somebody. I don't know if you can do that now, unless you're accepting of it. Yeah. There's a lot of slavery now is mental. It's very mental in TV programming and brands and all those things. So I'm not gonna sit here and say somebody makes me think this type of way. I understand where the programming comes from, and that's tough. And a lot of that stems from upbringing.
Right.
It's always going to go back. I always try to bring it back to self and put it on me, and not place the blame on that somebody else
doesn't
made me.
Doesn't involve human beings.
Yeah, so I'm speaking to people. I'm always going to bring it back to myself. I accepted this. I made this decision. I made this choice. I chose to accept this job, making $10 an hour. I'm not going to be mad at them for not paying me enough. I accepted it. Right. So that is, and that's just the ownership. That's the accountability, and that's the mindset that I want everybody to really take. Let's not make it about other people and what they're doing. Let's make it about us.
Well, let's challenge the people then. What would you challenge people to do? Like, what would you say to anybody listening right now that feel like they're trapped or feel like they're enslaved in any situation? Like, what would be the words that you would give them as far as?
Well, I would ask anybody, do you feel like you're enslaved? Do you realize how all of this works and how the enslavement happens, where the oppression happens? Right. I would also say move the words "I can't" from your vocabulary. You should never be able to say "I can't." Don't say "try." Say "I'm doing it." Right. It's just little things mentally that people have to do. And I always say, go back. Just be honest with yourself about where you at. You are where you are. Be honest with where you are. What do you believe? I think that's a really valuable question. Ask yourself, what do you actually believe when it comes to racism, when it comes to politics, when it comes to relationships and families? What do you believe? And when you ask yourself those questions, also ask the next question, ask yourself why. I can't tell you why you believe something. I don't know your upbringing, I don't know your programming. You know, that's what I would tell somebody, to start, to where to start. Because a lot of times we have people giving opinions on things that they're not really qualified to do. We giving what's unqualified opinions on qualified, and you can undo some work that people have been doing. So a lot of people, and just that's why I try to speak to our experience.
Right.
I try not to stray too far out of my lane, because especially things I don't really know about, or I'll shape it back into how it affected me. And that's really the only place that I really can come from. Like you said, until we step into somebody else's shoes, I don't know, but I can try to understand.
Yeah, for sure.
But even in our understanding, I'm going to build a bridge. Oh, Kerry went through that? Oh, I went through that too. So I'm going to try to build a bridge through similar experiences. So that's what I would say. It's always bring it back to self, guys. Like, let's stop blaming other people. Let's keep it within our community among Black people. So
We're done for the last 2 minutes. I have something to say.
What time is it?
We have like 2 minutes.
Okay.
So, hi everybody. You guys just told us wonderful stories, almost made me cry over here, about what happened to you. You at the house, you driving with a beer in the back seat or whatever. And now you're sitting here saying that it comes to self. How much of that self will actually, how much can you, there's a part that you can blame, and it's okay to blame it. You renting that place and you almost getting shot, somebody would have blamed you somehow when you did everything legally, did everything right. All it would take for one person, one of those cops, to be trigger happy, and you'd be gone. But in the news, you would be blamed for that.
Yeah.
So how does that kind of come in full circle with everything that you guys want to achieve, that we were telling people that they can achieve, and not to blame other people for a certain part? I get what you're saying, because I'm like the queen of it. I get what you're saying, that you can't completely, we're all responsible for ourselves, but there's something also that's there holding it back a little bit. Okay, bye guys.
Well, if I look back at the when I look back at the whole car situation, I wasn't in the mind state that I'm in now. So I wasn't talking self. I wasn't like, you evolve, you grow, you learn, you mature. Yeah. But I also believe that whatever's in your environment, be attracted in some type of way. If you're in a relationship that's toxic, in some type of way, you've attracted that.
Yeah.
You're playing a part in that, because if you knew that it was toxic, you remove yourself. Right? So I just try to not put blame. I know that there are outside powers that do this, do things to cause people pain. I know that. But at the end of the day, I can only worry about what's in my circle, my boat, and the decisions that I make. Because I know the decisions that I make can affect you, can affect Nikki, can affect my loved ones. So I think about that. And that comes back to me. And it's not just the people that I know. This decision, like a decision of Roe versus Wade, you look at old cases that have been affecting things for years up until now. One decision. So I think about that. What's the best decision that I can make?
Well, the way I think about it is, man, there's a lot of fucked up people in the world, right? There are people that have their agendas. Some cops are bad, some are good. Some affect the greater outcome of how I feel about the police force because of their negligence, and that's a real thing. I think it is a choice. Like, I choose to believe that when the next person comes around, and this is just my belief, I choose to believe that they're going to be they're going to be good people. They're going to be people of faith and people that understand that we are all people, right? I actually want to believe that, and I feel that way. And sometimes some of those forces, outside forces, make it hard for us to feel that way and actually look at it that way. So I understand when people are angry about those things, and I understand when people are just not down for that. Like, they're not going to ride with that. They're totally against it. So I see that side, and I definitely understand that side. But I also understand that for me as a person, I want to believe that people are good. And I want to take that mindset forever in my life. I want to instill that into my kids. I want to instill that into my friends. I want to instill that into everybody that's around me, because I think if we all get to a point of understanding that, and understanding that we have a voice and we can try to change this as much as we can try to make this outcome a little different. I choose to stand that way, but I would never look down or talk shit about somebody that feels the opposite way either, because that's a valid point. And like I said, I was a part of it, and I've seen it. So being a part of that and seeing it and knowing that it's a real thing, I would never talk shit about anybody feeling like the police are bad or feeling like whatever. I mean, that's their choice, and it's a real thing. It's not like they're making this shit up. Shit happens every day. So for me, I stand this way, but that way is okay too. And I think if we can come to a point of finding some kind of medium to make it work and be understood a little bit better, then I'm with that too. So I don't know. That's just my thought, and I'm actually getting kind of emotional thinking about it. So, but yeah, it's. I think it's okay either way. We just got to figure out a plan, a mode of action to try to get to the bottom of it, man. So
that's the thing. You keep saying we, right? What we mean. I make a decision. It's going to come back to self and all of us making the decision to do it. I mean, like, people in the Deep South experience cops in a very different way, right? So we know that those things happen. Right, like in why they happen, we can look at this. We can look at training. We can look at a bunch of different things. But I just want people to, and it's not like I don't get it. I'm just not going to accept, like, no, guys, how can we be better? I'm always going to say, I'm not looking for Donald Trump to help me. He's not going to do it. No. It's always going to come back to us. If I want to help me, the only person you can really trust in it is yourself, right? If you want something to get done, you got to do it yourself. That's a saying that's been going on for years.
Start with us, yeah.
And in that place, okay, cool. What can I do? Okay, cool. I got to do this with Kerry. Yeah. I got to do this with Nikki.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all the we is going to be a culmination of a bunch of individuals making a choice and coming together.
Absolutely. Well, shit, we got deep, people. Thank you guys. Hope you guys felt that. That was crazy. That was real. And we're glad you guys came back. This is the first show in a couple of weeks, and I think we brought it back to you guys, and I think you guys will come back now and not be upset with us. We laid it out there today, so we appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, thanks for supporting. Thanks for showing up. Our day ones who've been there since the beginning. Mm-hmm. Jerome's still writing the book, so next week. We're back Monday, Tuesday, schedule?
Hopefully Monday.
Hopefully Monday.
Oh, we're going to have a show Monday.